Grandmama, what was the dude named? PJ, what's his name? I can't remember. Somebody will tell me in the chat room. Light-skinned, tall dude. Whenever all of those guys were there, man, you never knew what was going to happen when the Knicks played. You never knew what was going to happen. There was a very good chance that some type of skirmish was going to break out. So half the time you're watching the game not for the fact that the Knicks were a pretty damn good team during that era, and it's real tough for me to even say that. Not only were they a pretty tough team during that era, man, but it was a very high likelihood that scuffs might break out. From Ducking and Dodging, from Frank Isola, Charles Oakley has been upset that the franchise, which is celebrating its 70th anniversary, haven't included him in any events. He has been critical of the Knicks and James Dolan. His punishment has been no tickets and banishment from the organization. That's bootleg. You know what this reminds me of? If that's the case, this reminds me of the whole Eric Dickerson Los Angeles Rams thing that just happened a couple of weeks ago, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. That's so petty. So this ain't no dictatorship. This is America, Jack. This ain't no Germany with Adolf Hitler. This ain't no Gestapo. This ain't nothing like this. This is America, man. You don't want everybody to agree with you. And listen, it's very easy not to agree with the New York Knicks and what's going on right now with the organization. You want people to be puppets? You want people just to sit around and sit on their hands and not say anything negative, which really negative is just the truth. Obviously, y'all can't see what's going on with the organization if you're James Dolan. If you're the front office, if you're the staff, you can't see that. It's a train wreck. And so you want former players that want nothing but the best for the organization and the city and the fans. You want them to be quiet? Sweep all of that under the rug? GTFOH. Now listen, y'all know I'm a Knick hater, and I'm an acknowledged Knick hater. I agree, I agree with these cats. I agree with Charles Oakley. If this is the reason that they're, kind of like putting him to the side because he's been critical of the organization, what? You got to get over that. You got to get over that period quick because everybody's getting on y'all. Y'all suck. Your GM has made a ton of bad moves since he's been there. Every player you've gotten free agency hadn't panned out. Carmelo is old. Y'all owe him a grip of money as well. I mean, it's obviously bad. Charles Oakley ain't saying nothing that nobody else in America is saying. Stop it. Really? Stop it. Come on, man. I always thought that in basketball in particular that, is some type of unwritten rule. Or maybe I even thought it was a rule that legendary players go to all games for the rest of their life for that organization for free. How the hell you got Charles Oakley buying tickets because he's critical of the organization? It's easy to be critical of the organization. Stop that. That's silly. And now I know the Knicks probably got a different side of the story on what happened. There's always, two sides to the story, or two sides, and then there's the truth. There's three sides to the story. So I know they probably got another story on what's going on, the relationship between the organization and Charles Oakley, what happened last night. I know they got a different side of the story. I know it. I tend to believe Charles Oakley and what he said. I don't believe that man came in there cussing at people from afar, with all of the fans around, causing this big commotion. Not a commotion to that degree where you come and escort the man out, have him dragged out by the police. Not to that degree. I don't believe that 1 second. I mean, seriously, from Sidney Jackson, he says there are a lot of petty people in key positions of power. And that is petty, but when they showed the video, or when you went back and you were able to watch it slower, and they did the little arrow and showed where James Dolan was sitting at, James Dolan didn't look like, I don't know, it's hard to tell because you weren't there. We'll never know exactly what happened, what was said. But, I mean, it didn't look that serious to me. Charles Oakley said he didn't say anything to James Dolan. They make the story sound like, and the Puppet Factory, ESPN kind of makes the story sound like that Charles Oakley, went out and purposely bought tickets to sit near James Dolan so that he can criticize him, so that he can scream, cuss words at him and this, that, and the other. I don't think that happened at all. It just looks like they just so happened to be in the same area, and they weren't like right next to each other. That's another thing. They make it sound like they were sitting, right next to each other. James Dolan's a couple of seats down to the right of Charles Oakley at the time. It wasn't even that damn serious. From Sidney Jackson in the chat room with Spreaker.com. And you can call the show at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. At Al, me either. I like a mixture of both, like how they used to play back in the 80s. They played tough, but they could score also. Yeah, they did it all back in the 80s and early 90s or whatever, man. They played a tough brand of basketball, and it's times have changed. But the way that they play basketball is how we grew up playing basketball. You don't get no damn little touch fouls on the playground. The only way you get a foul on the playground is you damn near got to get decapitated. Back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. You had to damn near get decapitated, man, to get a foul on the playground. And now, man, you can't even look at a dude hard and get a foul call, man. It's deplorable. From Don't Make Me Slap You. He says some guys say it with their chest. Oak says it with his backhand. Right. From Ducking and Dodging, I believe Dolan didn't want him there and told security to go get him out of there. Man, if that's the case, if Dolan just didn't want him there and sent the po-po over there knowing that man has a short fuse and that it would easily be escalated, resulting in what we saw last night, shame, 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 shame on James Dolan. He set him up. He set him up. He set him up because he knew exactly what would happen if they sent security over there to talk to Charles Oakley, disrespecting that man up in Madison Square Garden. He knew exactly what would happen. And I tend to believe that side of the story. From Rel the Intern Scott, James Dolan told Oakley to mind your manners. Right. From Kaza, 3 sides to your story. There's your side, their side, and the truth. Exactly. From Chief Rocker, Jersey Vern, X-Squad. I wonder what Chief Rocker got to say about it. Matter of fact, Vern, if you call the show today at 404-382-0338, we'll give you a couple of minutes and not shoot your ass off. I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you guys say. So the number one Chief Rocker, Vern from Jersey, is the biggest Knicks fan that listens to the show as far as I know. And I always ride him and, talk about his team and how sorry they are. I'd like to get your opinion on it, man. I mean, no matter, you've been kind of quiet lately when it comes to the Knicks and everything that's going on there and Phil Jackson and Carmelo and all of this stuff. I'd like to hear what the number one Chief Rocker has to say about it. And I won't shoot you off. I won't shoot you off. I promise. Cross my heart and hope to die. Just like I'm on the middle school playground. I'm doing the X across my heart, okay? I promise I won't shoot you off, Vern. I promise. From KC, Dolan don't want to run into Oakley in these streets. Nah, because it ain't over. It's not over. If Charles Oakley see James Dolan in them streets, well, another thing about Oakley, allegedly, is he hold grudges. Like the whole thing with Charles Barkley and several other cats that he's backhanded in his day have been spread out over years. Like at some point he gonna find you. He gonna see you on them streets and he gonna handle that. Thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Damn, guess who stepped up in the room?
The number one Chief Rocker, Vern from Jersey.
You can get in. What's up with you, bro?
Hey, Vern, I'm good, man. How your mother doing, first of all, before we get into this talk? I know your mother had been ill. How's she doing, brother?
Oh, she's sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting right here. She don't hear the show, cause if she would have heard the show, I would have had her call up on the line. But she ain't listened to the show.
Hey, well, you know what, man? Prayers to your mama, Vern. What you got on what happened last night? What you got on this whole Knicks train wreck in general, Vern?
Okay.
And listen, Vern, I promise you I'm not going to shoot you off the show. I promise you.
I mean, it didn't make me no difference anyway, but just let me get my point across. First and foremost, Dolan don't want Oakley.
Wait, Vern, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Vern, I'm sorry. And I actually missed Vern just now. and that was a shot that went over your head. We were just, adjusting the gun, cleaning off the barrel a little bit, and it missed you. It missed you.
Okay, that's cool, man. I'm still here, man. I ain't had to use my vest yet. But, first and foremost, Dolan.
That was a misfire.
Oakley's been going at Dolan for a while now, right?
Yeah.
And it was told that he don't want Oakley nowhere near him. But what happened is one of the older players that was on the team before gave Oakley the seats over there by Dolan. And when Dolan seen that Oakley was over there, he sent them over there to ask Oakley could he go sit somewhere else. And Oakley wasn't too kind to that, so he jumped up and started yelling at Dolan. And the security was trying to get him out of there. That's when he started mushing them, pushing them, and getting them off of him.
And Vern, what are your thoughts about overall what's going on with the Knicks, man, right now? Like every day for the last couple of weeks, it seems like is this story and that story, and it's tough to watch, bro, as a basketball fan.
Oh yeah, it's tough to watch, man. But I watched that game Saturday night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, right, where we was down by 27, right, and they put Carmelo on the bench, and them young boys came back and brought the lead down to 6. They brought Carmelo back in with about 5 or 6 minutes left in the game, and Carmelo went 0 for 5. To me, man, I'm going to tell you, I love Carmelo Anthony. I always liked that they made the move to bring him there, but Carmelo is not a fourth-quarter player. Only time I seen him play in the fourth quarter tough was against the Hawks. But who in the hell the Hawks got to cover him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was using and abusing them, until he fouled out. But this is my thing, man. Carmelo, go get you a championship. Sign the damn paper so they can trade you. Go get you a championship because LeBron want him bad. Go get a championship. They're going to make this thing happen. I understand you want to stay in New York, but go get the championship. Let us play these young boys. Let us get a number 1 draft choice out the deal.
Right.
Because I heard Boston is in on this thing too.
So you think if he goes anywhere to be to Cleveland? I've heard a lot of talk lately about the Clippers as well as Boston as well. What do you think about that?
Well, see, they don't just want Austin Rivers. They want 2 players from the Clippers, and they don't want Jamal
Crawford.
Yeah. But I don't see why not. He's shooting better than everybody else on the team right now.
Right.
But they don't want him. If they was to get him, Jackson was going to let him go somewhere else, But a lot of people saying Eubank then got rid of a player and only got back 1 player. And Austin Rivers, even though he's good, you don't know how good he's going to be for the long term.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he'll be better than Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is the biggest disappointment this year because even though Derrick Rose has his quickness back, Derrick Rose is not looking for nobody.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is trying to play Derrick Rose one-on-one type ball,
Yeah.
But, it's all good, man. Hey, man, I'm going to stick with my team.
Well, Vern, that's what you're supposed to do, man. I mean, Derrick Rose is a shell of himself right now. And listen, we got to go to a break. But, Vern, hey, I respect that, man. Stick with your team, bro. Stick with your team.
Hey, I got one thing for you, though, man.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What? You said you had one thing for me? You ain't got nothing for me, Vern. Look, Vern, I didn't want to do that. I apologize for that, actually. But you brought it on yourself. I mean, everything was about to be good. We had a nice, cordial conversation, and you ruined it at the end, Vern. I mean, you ruined it. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show.